Okay, Thursday, March 30th, 2023, Lviv, Ukraine. Okay, I guess I don't have much to update on Ukrainian news as it is. So I'll talk about what I've been doing the last few days. I've been learning all these AI apps like GPT-4, DALL-E 2. I was playing with MidJourney, but I think the system was overloaded. I didn't get any results from that. But this is interesting. And I think Bill Gates, Jensen Huang, all these other tech people, it's AI that's going to lead the way, from an investor point of view. And this is not investor advice or anything. This is just my opinion. But that's where the growth will be versus Web3. I think this is just my view. Web3 is already starting to consolidate. We're seeing Web3 used in consumer loyalty, something I gave a talk on. And already Salesforce has made a partnership with Polygon to add it to their platform. So I imagine that all these companies that use Salesforce also are like retail oriented, consumer facing, and already have existing loyalty programs. And it's probably even integrated through Salesforce. Salesforce is huge. It's a Dow 50 company. It's a CRM. But it's I've taken a few courses on it. It's massively easy. It's really easy to use, very customizable. It can be made complex. You can put your own custom code in there, and that's where people are making money. Big companies, like Cognizant or Accenture, and all these are like implementers of this. So Salesforce has added this module for loyalty programs, and it kind of shifts now. The balance now goes to bigger companies who have already got these contracts versus smaller companies like ours. We have to work a little bit harder now to get in with somebody to build a loyalty program. We're competing with an out-of-a-box solution. I'm not sure how good it is or when it's coming out. There's still, IT is growing, and there's still always room. You just have to compete a little harder. And so yeah, that's but yeah, back to the AI. It's scary good. It's got a lot of limits on it. I've seen a lot of articles like, I asked ChatGPT to trade stocks for me. It won't do that. It won't tell you who's better than who. It's got a lot of limits. It's got a lot of disclaimers. The data only goes till September 2021. So we're only getting a taste. This is really just like a minimum viable product that they put out there. A damn good one. I'm actually getting real work done with it. I've written some proposals, some cover letters, things like that, summaries. What else? Small things for our website. These little paragraphs, little scripts that have I tell it write 1,000 characters. Description, give it 4 or 5 paragraphs, and it writes a pretty good description. If you give it the limits. You can even tell it to write in Shakespearean English, write in rap, write it so that a 20 or 30-year-old person, who from California would understand it, so it uses some of their jargon. And it gets you 80-90% of the way there. You just have to do some editing. I wouldn't say it does it for you. You definitely have to read through it. But I'll also tell you that GPT won't tell you that it doesn't know. it can give you disclaimers. It can tell you that it has limits. But I asked it to give me a price of my apartment back in America. And, my apartment back in America is 2-bedroom, 1 bath, very small, 60 square meters, and it's on rent right now. And it described it as a 4-bedroom house, even when I put in the address and everything, and it put the price up at $2 million. So it's not taking over the universe anytime soon. But I also had some interesting discussions in a chat. I play this game, this play-to-earn game called Alien Worlds, and they're actually, we're doing a grant project for them through a company called Ducoco in Switzerland. But they had an interesting discussion how AI will take jobs and AI will do this and, replace people. But I'm pretty sure they were saying that in the Industrial Revolution. People used to weave clothes by hand. They had these big looms in their house, and you'd spend all your day just making a bolt of fabric, and then the electric looms, The Industrial Revolution came out and turned all that on its head. And instead of putting people out of work, it created more opportunities. Now you had all this fabric out there. So now more people could make clothes instead of making fabric. The cars replaced the horses. So yes, the people who were dealing with horses were temporarily out of work. But next thing you know, like logistics took off. Those people who had horses now could create products and they could deliver them farther away, or like the railroad. So it creates something new. If we get rid of all this, I think right now, the way AI is, it does a lot of the monkey work. You give it like the other day, my friend, she was writing something to a Swiss company, and asking me for help on English. I just told her, get GPT-4, throw it in there. And I showed an example and it just fixed up the crappy English. So this kind of correcting sentences and writing summaries, it can do that. It's like your personal assistant. It's like having an intern, to just do all your monkey work so you can focus on higher order tasks. So just like the cooking revolution that humans experienced 2 or 3 million years ago when they started, going from eating raw meat, they discovered fire, started cooking. They spent less time chewing, and the muscles in the face shrank and the brain got bigger. And then they could do higher value things. And I think AI is going to do the same thing. It's not going to, it'll displace people temporarily, but they'll get new jobs in a new kind of economy, just like when cars came out or machines came out. I mean, machines are AI, right? The task that you were doing manually, like digging a hole, and all of a sudden you get an electric shovel, or something, or electric hammer, let's say. It's doing the repetitive task for you. I mean, you just have to guide it. It's the same sort of analogy. You just need to guide the AI. So it'll free us up from all this monkey work, and we'll be able to think about bigger things and better things. It'll be more art in the world, more thought, more self-expression. And that's a big industry. We'll free ourselves up from this drudgery of office work. We can leave after 4 hours and do fitness and become more productive. Because there's a lot of drudgery. Like a meeting summary. There's this one other AI program called Otter AI, and it kind of records your meetings. Now I try to dump all the, it's just a straight transcription service. Dump it into ChatGPT for a summary, but it hit the character limit. So if you have a long meeting, it won't work because ChatGPT, like I said, they really put the guards on it. It's very, very limited, and it's a lot of this stuff you're seeing in the news that ChatGPT did this and that. It's clickbait. I mean, what you can do, and what I have done, like I said, write a job application, right? So I put the job description in there, I put the resume in there, and I put an exam. What else did I put? I think I put an example of a cover letter or something, and I said, write a cover letter for this job description based on my resume. Using this example, and it got it pretty close, did pretty good. I mean, it kind of made me look like I was like the best person ever. It was a bit, but you can tell it, tone it down, tone it up. So yeah, it freed me up from all this writing. I just put in a few thoughts and I was able to build something from these thoughts. So what I'm going to do is now spend more of my energy on key thoughts, and then the AI is going to take it from there. That's my view, but I think there's a big revolution coming. I mean, to link these together, link these programs together. For example, you want to write a story about a guy who's been living in Ukraine for a while. So you write a few points there, it writes the story, then you say turn it into a screenplay, and then you could probably feed that into an AI to generate characters for this, and then you can feed it into another AI program to actually make a small movie out of it. And you can set the voices, set the backgrounds, and you just put in these thoughts and it'll do all this work for you. So we're probably going to see this explosion in creativity and see an explosion of what's really going on inside people's heads. I don't know what kind of it's hard to imagine what kind of new economy this will create. But I mean, it's just like this thing about making the fabric. People were weaving and fabrics and running the spinning wheels all by hand. And fabric was really expensive. You know, people wore the same clothes every day for all their lives and passed the clothes down. You know, and then all of a sudden, instead of people making fabric, people were making clothes. So I'm wondering what the analogy is. You know, what's going to happen when people are, you know, going from writing essays and doing all this like busy work, you know, like film editing or, you know, I mean, you can adapt this AI to robots, to digging holes, you know, and automating the construction. What's the new opportunity then? What's that we go from this? So I think these things that are being created, that becomes the opportunity to, you know, sell those or put those things together into something else. Because like now this fabric has been created, you know, there was a revolution in zippers and snaps and all this stuff, and then you put that together and you get new kind of clothes, you know, started coming out, you know, buttons. So maybe you'll be putting these end products together, and there'll be some new industries by fitting what's been created by robotics and AI. But I tell you what, I'm going to start a Python course next month, because I definitely want to get ahead of this, and I definitely want to have a technical understanding, because what I can say is all this stuff builds up on data points of the past. So it's looking through all the internet and all the stuff that's out there, and then putting it together. So it's just like we do. You know, we go to the library, read a book about, you know, how someone did something in the past, or watch a YouTube and learn from there. So we don't have to sit there and figure out how to fix the kitchen or something. That someone has already had this problem on YouTube. You go there and it speeds it up. So I think this is what AI is going to do. Maybe it'll make society actually, you know, the Industrial Revolution and these things, you know, made society better in a lot of ways. I mean, yeah, at the beginning there's a lot of exploitation, but now, you know, we're living longer. You know, the segregation and the slavery in the Western countries is over, and as automation and industrialization hit the Eastern countries, people start getting more self-aware and asking for their rights. You know, I hope. You know, I think it's still a bit tough in China and stuff, but I think there's something boiling over there. Definitely I think in Russia too, stuff is boiling there, but we just don't get to see it. You know, they're very censored. But anyway, I don't want to get on that sidetrack. But yeah, I'm going to start learning Python. I'm already quite okay at SQL. I took a lot of courses in it, used it when I was working at BlackRock, like every day for 3 years, and you know, so I think Python just builds on SQL. And anyway, yeah, I'll tell you more about my AI journeys and everything else, and you know, what I'm going to be working on. So yeah, I'm going to shift more into this talking about these things, and maybe I'll do some screen videos, screen sharing, and those kind of things at home. But generally, I like to record on the way back from the gym when I'm all like pumped up and full of energy. But anyway, take care, and we'll see you later.